Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? This is America's Credit and Finance Drill Sergeant, the Rough Rev, otherwise known as King Bang. And I'm coming to you to just talk about something. About once or twice a year, I'll smoke one of these. Usually, I don't smoke a drink, but when you see me smoking one of these, it means I'm trying to take the rough edge off to keep from hurting somebody or killing somebody. So since I don't drink, really don't smoke, don't do drugs, don't party. If I do this once or twice a year and it saves a life, don't send me no nasty emails, all right? Anyway, I usually don't put any of my cars, my homes, my material possessions in videos. I don't trip on that type of thing, but I'm sitting here in front of one of my BMWs today because I want to talk about mistakes that I've made in the past, but also systemic racism that had kind of propelled me to do so. I've probably owned about 56 cars in my life. About 25 of them was hoopties. Raggedy cars I got at auction, you know, whatever. Bought them, flipped them, whatever. But I remember several times in my life, but one particular time I remember in my life, I was down in Maryland. I had my own business. I was doing very well. I had got this little house under contract, lease with an option to buy. I had fixed it up. I had done a lot of work to it in the year that I lived there. And then when I finally went to go to closing on it, I remember having a conversation with an underwriter and got into a little disagreement with the underwriter about money, about banking. He said he had never met a financial analyst or financial person who didn't trust banks. I told him I didn't trust banks. That's why I didn't keep a lot of money in the bank. I kept just enough in the bank. I kept so much in my safe in cash. I kept some at my storage unit in cash. And when the appropriate time came, I would move it to my bank account. So he wanted to know where this large sum of money came from when I deposited in order to show that I had a VOF, a verification of funds. I told him I had taken some out of my safe and some out of my storage unit and put it in the bank. I said, I don't really trust banks. And in any case, we went back and forth on a couple other things. He asked me to send him a copy of my ID. And we were on the phone, and I faxed him a copy of my ID, and I noticed the whole complexion of the conversation changed. And he said he wasn't really at liberty to talk any further. He had a couple of meetings he had to go, and he rushed me off the phone. The next thing I know, when I talked to the mortgage person the next day, this was before I got in the mortgage business, when I talked to the mortgage person the next day, he told me my loan was denied. I had excellent credit. I had good gobs of money I had put in the bank, and my debt to income ratios were low. My FICO was high. And he denied me the loan, number one, because we had a difference of opinion, but number two, because when I faxed my ID and he saw the tone of my skin, the whole complexion of the conversation changed. Now, I'm not going to fault him because I was trying to come up. I was trying to buy property. I was trying to invest. I was trying to get my money right. I had bought this house I contracted this house for like $69,000. After I fixed it up, I painted it inside and out, took out the old nasty purple carpet and had blue paneling, took that out, sanded the walls, put in white carpet, not off-white carpet, white carpet, sanded and painted every surface. One of the rooms had indoor-outdoor carpet that one of the kids had peed in, and oh man, it smelled like piss. I scrubbed it out. I redid the whole house, made it look nice, peeled back and redid the hardwood in the living room and put a loose laid carpet, 4 coats of lacquer on it, made it look beautiful. The house appraised for like $129 or $119, excuse me. I had it contracted for like $69. And the difference between the two values, I was gonna get a check at closing for cash. you know, after closing costs and whatever. Anyway, my loan was denied, and I got frustrated, and I got pissed off, and I went and bought a car. And it started a bad habit. It started a really bad habit. There were so many times in my life where I was trying to make a business deal happen and something would fall apart, or somebody would steal some money from me, or, you know, it would be, I'm on the phone, everything's all good, but when I show up in person, this would get in the way, and all of a sudden it would be a no-go, and I would get frustrated, and I would go buy a car. And I said, I've owned 58 cars. What if I had bought 58 pieces of property? But I thought it was interesting that I never had a problem buying a car. Bought $40,000, $50,000 cars. Sometimes with no money out of pocket. Sometimes they didn't even need to see a pay stub because my FICO score was so high. And I would jump through hoops and do flips and give them damn near a quart of blood, my firstborn or whatever, to try to get the mortgage, and they would deny me. And the 2 times in my life I got a mortgage on a house, when I bought a house, I had to fight with everything I had down to the wire. But I could buy cars. What am I saying? With all this racism that's going on the street, which is horrific and unacceptable by any means. But what doesn't show up in the statistics is the systemic racism that goes on in banks, finance companies, mortgage companies, title companies, every freaking day. The times when people are qualified and they have everything they need and they're denied. Wells Fargo has admitted to it. Bank of America has admitted to it. They've been fined. Many mortgage companies have been fined by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Federal Reserve. The sad reality is those people who lost out on those deals, they lost money, they lost equity, they ended up still renting, burning money. You want to talk about systemic racism, which makes you frustrated? Some people would get frustrated and go out drinking. Some guys get frustrated and they go out and rob somebody. I would get frustrated and go out and buy a car. And I'm trying to figure in my mind, what, you know what? I bought all these cars and I haven't bought as many pieces of property. And I thought, like, wow, this racism thing is really, it's really something. And it's something that we need to think about. And I want to say to all you young people out there, don't make the same mistake that I made. And I apologize, but, you know, I got my little once, twice a year cigar, Tiparillo, and my mustard green mango and, what is it? Mustard green mango and pineapple and something in here that I mixed in the blender. But I'm saying to you, you got to stay focused and you got to keep pushing. And if you can, when you're filling out the loan application, sad to say, the part where it asks you to put your race, now there's a federal law that says if you don't want to divulge that, you don't have to. And when you have to send across your ID, you need to put a blank spot over your picture. All your identifying data can be fine. The lady at the title company can see who you are. They can verify that you are who you say you are. But it's sad that in this day and time, in the year 2020, with George Floyd dying, with a man with his knee on his neck, with the other brother in Atlanta dying, predominantly black city, you think that we love our people, getting shot in the back because somebody pointed a taser at him. Like, these punk ass cops that would shoot a guy instead of, I know in the military we were trained to defuse a situation. Shooting was the last resort. If his ass was too lazy and slow to catch him, then oh well. But in any case, the racism that pervades our society is totally unacceptable. And I want you guys to really think about, you know, you guys need to be in banks. You need to be in finance companies. You need to be in mortgage companies. You need to be the ones that are these decision makers. You need to be these underwriters. You need to be these realtors and these appraisers. Because talk about systemic racism. Me and my buddy who pulled this deal off to get this house on Main Street in Pleasantville. 3,000 square foot, 3,200 square foot duplex. 6 bedroom, 4 bath. When we get ready to get the appraisals, the appraiser tells us, oh, it's only worth $89,000, and he uses comparables that are half the size of this duplex, like less than half, like 1,200 square feet, and they're single families. You're supposed to use another duplex of the same size, same square footage. He uses single families half the size and tells us that's our value, 80, 90,000. Now, when you're doing a commercial loan, the appraisals don't cost $500. They cost $1,500. So that's one that we wasted. We said we'll get another appraiser. We went to go get another appraiser, and the second appraiser does the same thing. Older white gentleman. Oh, it's only worth $109,000. I'm a realtor. I go online and I pull up the comps. Square footage, 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, same square footage. I pull up Ventnor, $700,000. Margate, $850,000. I pull up one in Longport, a block from the beach, for $1 million. That's smaller than ours. Now, the real estate law says, and the appraisal protocol says that if you can't find, and it's getting dark out here, huh? If you can't find a comparable within that city, then you have the right to go outside of that city and go to up to a 5-mile radius outside of that city and use those comparables. Well, he chose to use comparables in Pleasantville. Low income, predominantly Black and Latino. And kind of frustrating because, here again, systemic racism. So then, at that point, I got to turn on some lights here because it's getting dark. At that point, they not only lower our comps. Our loan amount literally gets cut in half. I'm trying to position this light so that you guys can see me. It's a really shitty video, but in any case, I'm saying all that to say that it's very unfortunate that in this day and time, we still have this systemic racism that goes on, where in mortgages, in real estate, in construction, in banking, in finance, you still have this systemic racism where the color of your skin comes in and you get less than a person of another color would get. Or you get a no instead of a yes. As much as we fought in your wars and we've protected your property and we've taught your children and taken care of your communities, as a firefighter, as a Marine, as a youth counselor, as a teacher, I don't discriminate. I love all children. But why is it we can put our lives on the line for you guys and you still have this thing where you got to try to kick our back in, kill us, beat us down? Not cool. But what you need to know is that for the young people that are watching this, you guys need to press to become those bank managers, become those loan officers, become those underwriters, become those decision makers. So that when you see a person, a melanated person, and like I said, don't ever use the word black because then you're subject to those black codes. But when you see a melanated person, do all you can to push so that they can get an advantage. Because this Caucasian has a 400-year head start. And he's still greedy. He still wants everything. And it's unfortunate. I'm not a black, white person. I'm not that type of guy. But at the end of the day, these are things that I started thinking about. Why in the hell have I bought all these cars? Why didn't I buy 58 houses? Because I would get no. And I would get frustrated and I'd go buy a car. And I had no problem. Like that, I bought a car. 40, look. 6, 7 BMWs. Suburbans. Range Rovers, X5 BMW, like I mean, Mustang GT convertible, drop top, slam down to the ground, 325i convertible, BBS rims on it, Fittipaldi rims, like you name it. I never had a problem. And it's easy because they'd rather you get into bad debt and commercial debt that doesn't benefit you than to get in real estate debt, which gives you a write-off, saves you money, stops you from burning money in rent every month. And I just want, this is a short video and it's a piss poor quality, but I want you guys to get the message that as you go forth in life, push to get in those positions of authority, to be decision makers. And if you're in a situation where you get a no, don't get frustrated and just go blow your money on something like a pretty car. Because if I had 58 houses now, I'd be sitting real nice. Sitting real nice. I'm not doing bad, but I could be doing a hell of a whole lot better. And I want you guys to learn from the mistakes that I made. Don't make the same mistakes. Don't get frustrated. Fortunately, I didn't, I never went out and did a night drinking and drugging or anything like that, but I would get frustrated and I'd just go buy a fucking car. And I'd have fun joyriding and at one time running from the police and racing and, doing whatever. Chilling, cruising with my girl in the car with the top down, I mean, I didn't introduce her to the Mile High Club, but I introduced her to another club. We ain't gonna talk about that. The convertible club, the ragtop club. But bottom line is, this racism thing runs deep, y'all. So you gotta watch your back, you gotta watch your ass, you gotta push to try to get through those doors, break through those glass ceilings, become those decision makers, and you'll be in a much better position to be a decision maker. Trying to find the best lighting here. I guess there is no best lighting here because once it gets dark, it gets dark. But in any case, I think my spliff went out. But don't make the same mistake I made. You can do better. Okay. Keep your head. Stay focused. I know we live in perilous times and there's a lot of stuff going on. I like to talk to you guys, consult with you guys. If you're ever dealing with anything financial, hit me up. Superstarfinancial.net. My company, Superstar Financial. I got Superstar Aviation and Life Skills Academy is my nonprofit arm. But Superstar Financial, 215-554-7063. Hit me up. And we'll scheme and we'll figure out how to make it happen. As a realtor, as a financial person, as a person who worked on Wall Street, I know a thing or two. And even to get the mortgages that I've had, I had to do some conniving. Not anything illegal, but just knowing how to maneuver. Because otherwise I would have just been renting, burning money. And rents are high, y'all. $1,400, $1,600, $1,800, $2,100. And you can get a mortgage on a house, $900, $1,000. So go for the mortgage. Save your money. Don't buy the car. At least not a new car. You can go to auction, get an old car that needs some work, fix it up. Or get a slightly used car, 3 to 5, maybe 7 years old in good condition. I'm telling you. In my younger life, I tried. I was trying to do it. I got no. And I get frustrated and go buy a fucking car. Excuse my French. Sorry. Anyway, peace in the Middle East. I love y'all. America's Credit and Finance Drill Sergeant Rough Rev, otherwise known as King Bay. Hey, remember, the way you get wealthy is you buy assets and you eliminate liabilities. Peace.